Hello, welcome to Andertons TV. My name is Jack Duxbury. He's the Maltese Falcon.
Woo.
And this rather lovely gentleman is...
Mark from Novation.
And you're going to show us what today?
So basically we're going to show you Launchpad Pro Mk3. We're going to sequence some external hardware without the computer, and we're going to show you how to build some custom modes.
And if you don't like the sound of that and you want to just see an in-depth one, we've got another video coming out as well about that. So let's high five and do this.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Okay, so essentially, yeah, as we said, we've taken a look at the sequencer in other videos, but essentially we can use the sequencer to power any external hardware. We spoke about that before. You could be in the studio, you've got 16 devices or whatever, MIDI channel wise. You can use that to delve into a wealth of all your hardware collection, or on stage, of course. But essentially, we've got 4 sequencers that we can use to do this. And we can change the way that the sequencer looks and behaves. So a really good thing that I like to kind of show off is the kind of different behavioral settings that you can put onto the sequencer. So at the moment we've got this drum style layout, but we don't want that because we're sequencing peak. It's a pitched instrument. So let's dive into the sequencer. Let's change that up. And I want to play in scale because I can't play. So we're going to play in scale.
You can with this, man.
You can with this. So we're going to put that into a scale mode. We can change that on the right-hand side, lock it into a scale mode, hit sequencer. So now everything is in scale of my choice. Okay. Nice. So this is really cool. So now we've got a scale keyboard layout, and we hit play. We've got the sequencer at the top here. Now, a really good thing I can do is just get kind of really wacky and crazy with this sequence.
Come on.
Right? So what I'm going to do is, we're in scale. I can't hit a duff note.
Inspector Gadget scale.
Yeah, so we're going to place some of these notes randomly into the sequence. 32-step sequence. Okay, randomly, and I'm going to just put different pitches, different notes in there. There is method to this madness.
I love that. Okay? Yeah, but you can be so free because it's all locked to the scale.
Yeah, and there's no wrong way. You're in the scale, exactly.
Wicked.
So we're going to play this, and it's going to sound pretty crazy to start with. Okay, so that's pretty crazy. There's a mash of kind of mad notes in there.
Yeah, but it makes sense.
It makes sense. It's in key. So let's go into pattern settings, and as we said, we're sequencing peak. This is a sound coming from the Novation peak. We spoke before, but just to show you again, we can change the way that the sequence pattern behaves. So it's going forwards at the moment. We can change that to backwards. So already we're getting different rhythmic sequences, essentially. We can put ping pong. We can even change the length of the sequence as well if we want to. Now, one thing I like to do is hit the random button, because this is basically going to just pick out random steps in the sequence and then trigger those notes on that step. So we're starting to introduce a bit of random behaviour. Now, one thing I've added to the sequencer on Launchpad Pro, which is pretty awesome, is probability. So what probability is going to do, it's a per step value. So we can choose a step that we want to introduce some probability to. So at the moment, it's on 100%. So the chances are that it's going to trigger. It's 100% probable that it's going to trigger. But I can introduce some different probability values for these steps. Now what that's going to do is decrease the chances of them actually getting hit. Okay, or actually triggering within the sequence. Okay, so we see how that sounds. Starting to get some crazy random sequence behaviour with probability, which is pretty cool. Now there's one more thing we could do.
And I love it, it's conversational. I love the terms probability. I've seen it in a few other bits of gear. And this whole generative music.
Generative sequencing, generative sequencing.
Music for free, it seems like. And taking you by surprise. Yeah,
taking you by surprise.
I love it.
I know for modular people as well, it's a great thing for adding various different sound textures and stuff. But mutation as well we can add as well. So we've introduced probability, but what mutation is going to do is actually, when those steps are triggered, it's going to send off a random note value, so a random pitch. So if it's triggered, we can then set per step the amount of mutation. So this is going to send off random pitch values from peak. or 2 peak essentially. So we're just going to add some of these in. And then what you'll get is this kind of completely alive sequence that is being triggered randomly with probability and pitch as well. So within a short space of time, just using the sequence settings in Launchpad Pro Mk3, we've got just a completely alive and generative sequence. Mad, absolutely crazy.
Can I play it and just have a fiddle with this, just to...
Go for it. So yeah, just a complete fun way of just...
If I was a drummer, we should get Taylor in here to play some drums over. I'd just set that up and be like, ting, 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 just jamming over.
It's mad, and it's like I said, it's a completely alive, generative sequence. And obviously, you've got pattern settings as well. So don't forget that, you can create an entirely new pattern of 32 steps. You can chain them together, make a 64-step sequence. You can have a completely other random generative sequence on another sequencer, because all of the sequences are independent, and you've got 4 to play with. So just complete madness.
And for the money.
Yeah.
I bet that's why I can see a lot of guys already. The people I follow on the interweb who've got this already are putting it to good use. And how does that relate to the custom
modes? Yeah.
Custom modes.
Yeah. So custom modes. So I mean, obviously, like you say, it's going to appeal to a lot of people. It has MIDI. It has 2 MIDI outs and a through as well. So talk about connecting your whole.
How do they get out of there?
So you have a 3.5 mini jack to MIDI, which that's becoming like a standard kind of MIDI connection now as well.
I didn't even know.
Just sort of break out into a 5-pin sort of adapter straight into your hardware.
Keeps it so slim and
small.
Very. That is
sleek, low profile. It's literally nothing on a tabletop.
Yeah.
But yeah, custom modes. Actually, funny you should mention that, custom modes. So, custom modes with Launchpad Pro. So on the X you get custom modes, and on the Mini you get custom modes as well. But on the Pro you get 8 custom modes. So a way of basically creating 8 templates for your hardware, for your live session, for software, for hardware, anything.
So there's only 1 custom mode on the other models?
There's just fewer custom modes. I think on the Mini there's like 2, on the X there's 4, and on this you've got 8.
Killer.
So it's got absolute killer, yeah. So, and this all happens in Novation Component. So this is kind of like our either online software, or there is a standalone version as well. And basically this is the way that you would build your custom mode. So what we're doing is we're building a complete user way of interacting with Launchpad.
And that's your blank slate.
This is your blank slate. So it's all done with widgets. So widget wise, let's say, again, we keep going over it, but I can't play. So let's introduce a scale keyboard, right? Let's drop.
This is very powerful.
It's so powerful.
I just had a real moment there. I looked at the file, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, probably because you saw the program changes.
Never seen this before. Yeah.
CC. So imagine being on stage with, peak, program change your patches.
Even guys running backing tracks. Or,
it's great.
Even with DAWs that aren't Ableton.
Correct. Yeah. So you can map to your desired software, control
I love
anything.
how you've let people just do what they want with
Absolutely,
this.
yeah. So I mean, we just put a 3 scale keyboard on here, right? Sorry, 3 octave, and we go into settings for each one, right? And we can change what we're going to do. So I want my root note, to be D. I want it to play, the second octave. I want it to be in a minor. There's all the scale types here.
Ukrainian Dorian.
It's all in there. And a MIDI channel, of course, so what we're going to transmit on. So that's octave number 2. This is octave number 3, and we can have this as octave number 4. Now, again, we mentioned, I think in the other video, can we change the color? Yes, we can. So I can have the root note as like orange. I can have the scale in yellow. Go crazy, so visually you can have separate your octaves visually.
I get it, like with some artists, they have a brand going on.
Yeah, that's it. You've got to stay.
Shout out to Rachel Collier. She's very neon. I'm sure she'll be very.
So we can.
Very neon.
Yeah, we can tailor it up the way we want to. So we basically said what we want these to play, and we can actually now introduce something else. So we can say like, right, I want a horizontal unipolar fader, and I want that to control the cutoff on peak, which I know is CC29, and just for argument's sake for the video, that's it done. We want to send that to the Launchpad Pro. We mentioned we had 8 different slots. I want to send that to the 8th slot, which is this one we're on now, and then bang, there it is. So
no way.
And then if you press, that's it. Opening the filter.
Mad.
So yeah, that's literally opening the filter for us.
Effing love it, man.
Yeah, and that's very simple, just opening and closing the filter. But obviously on Launchpad Pro with the velocity sensitivity,
what a way to refresh
the way it
how
opens
you
it.
interact. So if you've had a synth for years, I'd just get one of these because I would start playing with it in a different way.
Yeah, completely interact.
I would control it in a different way.
Completely interact with it the way you want.
It's like a ribbon controller almost now for my peak.
Yeah. Crazy. So that's custom modes, and obviously you can save up to 8 different custom modes.
And these, sorry for that question, these stay in here. I don't have to be attached to a computer, do I?
Good question. So you store or essentially flash 8 different custom modes onto the unit, and they stay on there. But this has a cloud-based system as well. So if you want to store a load of custom modes on there and templates for all of your hardware, let's say you're gigging with someone, they've got a particular synthesizer, you want to control the cutoff, you don't have that synth, you can build a custom mode and then use it when you're on stage or whatever. But you can store them natively on your drive as well. So it's pretty awesome
product,
feature.
Man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
That's exciting. Yeah, we've got another video where we talk about some other modes. Check it out.
Yeah.
And the website for the pricing and availability. If you like what we're doing, consider subscribing. If you don't, we'll learn from it. Won't we, Fal? Well, we'll try to. Hopefully you're seeing it. Well, we've learnt one thing is to get you down here to show stuff off. So thank you, mate. Cheers.
Welcome, mate.
All the best, guys. See ya.